people do react a little bit crazy to it because it's very loud, and it does have a bit of a thing where it does like to pop and bang when it lights and chuck flames out. So I have seen people jump to the floor. I had this time where I was in Ingermells one day and it backfired and a guy literally jumped into a dike. I didn't stop. He was a big guy, so I just carried on. But yeah, it does get a lot of attention because of its being old and people don't know what it is. But yeah, it's a bit of a noisy car as well, and it does, you know, people do look at it whether they like it or not. So, I'm Jack, and I own the 1983 Volkswagen Passat, B2 Passat. I bought it about 2 years ago, saw it online. I'd been inspired to get one of these cars since I saw a Volkswagen Santana, which is from the same family, owned by a guy called Richard Skinner actually, and ever since then I really wanted one. And it came to a time when I was selling my Mark II Golf because I thought that a van would be more practical, and whilst I was looking for a van, this car came up for sale, which is such a rarity. I had to have it. Without any, I just bought it straight away, and I didn't look back. I went and picked it up. It was a bit of a rough car. I picked it up from a body shop. It was still being worked on at the time, and the electrics wasn't working correctly, so the lights didn't work, the indicators, had no horn, the heater was stuck on. It was driving pretty awful, but I managed to get the car home, and that's when I started working on it. Before I got this car, I had a Mark II Golf, an automatic. I've got a bit of a thing for them. I like my old cruisers. Before that, I had a Mark II Polo bread van. Yeah, I can fit in one. Yeah, I've always liked old cars, especially Volkswagen. That's my thing. Once I got the car, it was a case of stripping off everything to check, you know, going right back underneath and everything to make sure that there's no rust or anything being covered up. So I know for myself, with the help of my mate Jake, we did find some nasty stuff, not too bad, but we managed to sort it out and get it up to a much better condition underneath. And that was the plan, to just tidy the car up. It had to be low, so that was the next thing of making coilovers, seeing what can fit, and sort of trial and error, as there's not much information about the cars, to be honest, because they're a bit of a rarity, and went sort of from there really. I picked up some wheels cheap just to put them on to look better, and ended up making some caps for them and just sort of putting my stamp on it, if you like. As for the outer bodywork, it had bits of rust all over it, and I decided to take it off the road for 3 or 4 weeks in my back garden, and actually me and my missus, we actually stripped it back ourselves and did it all in the backyard, and did a pretty good job. It looks alright now, and she was really helpful. And engine bay as well, we sorted that out, took everything off that was looking pretty poor and cleaned it up, painted stuff. Obviously we'd already serviced the whole engine. We've had to do the clutch, carburetor changed to a Weber, so it was more reliable. The gearbox needed some work doing to it. Obviously all service items. The car's future plans are, I plan on getting some different wheels for it at some point. I'm also looking into getting it lower. We've started figuring out different ways of doing that as well. And also the interior I want to try and tidy up a little bit more. It's very original, so I'm going to keep it as it is, but I think I'm going to strip it out and just give it a real deep clean, and you know, try and save everything. That's the thing, these cars are getting rare now, and if I can save as much original stuff on it, I will do. So yeah, I'm just going to take it a little bit further. It's never going to be a show car because it's my daily. I've got other projects on the go, so I can't really afford to be doing that either, but I try to make the best of what I've got, and just saving one of them cars and keeping it on the road is, you know, it's cool in itself. If I was to do it again, I think it would have been nice to have had it, been able to actually keep the car off the road so I can go more in depth of doing work on it, i.e. stripping it right down to metal and actually starting the bodywork from square one. But with it being a daily at the minute, it's needs to be used every day, so I've never had enough time to go to that extent like I have with other projects. The biggest difficulties with this car is finding certain parts. Because it's quite a rare car now, certain things, only a couple of weeks ago I had a rear light that got broken and it was pretty hellish to try and find one. It's just a case of getting on with other owners or people that know where to find parts, and getting stuff like that. Body panels, interior parts and stuff, they're the hard parts to get. As for running gear, engine stuff and everything, it shares stuff with a lot of other old Volkswagens, so that's pretty okay. But yeah, that's the biggest difficulty with it, trying to find parts for it. The end result with it, it's sort of what I expected. I've got a style of what I like to do with cars. I like to keep them original, clean them up as much as I can, and if they're sat down nice and low, got a nice stance to them, and a pretty set of wheels, I like that. And then I just go with period accessories. I've put stuff in it. I've got some old period partial shelf speakers, I've got flat Eric sat on my back seat, retro cup holders, all sorts of little bits and bobs that I pick up over the time that, you know, go with the car. That's what I like. Top speed in this car, I'm not actually sure what it was originally. It's not a fast car, but it does pull pretty well, and it's got plenty of torque. I mean, you can almost set off in top gear. I mean, I've driven it around the 100 mark, and it seems pretty comfortable at that, but due to it being a 4-speed, it will be revving pretty high at that speed, so I wouldn't want to do it for that long, and it's pretty loud at that speed as well. Anything else on it? I mean, yeah, with having the new suspension and poly bushes and everything, it's stiffened the ride right up and drives so much better, because standard it's like driving a boat. The car's purpose now is to get me from A to B everywhere. I use that as my daily. Lives outside and it is my daily driver. That's my car to get everywhere. I go to shows in it, but I also carry wood in it, tools, everything. I use it to put my trailer on and do tip runs. It goes shopping, it does everything that an everyday car would, and it serves its purpose brilliantly. It keeps up with modern traffic, no problem, and it's really fun to drive. It's a great car. I have had people looking at me, because I use my cars as a daily to the full extent. People don't expect to see my car with a trailer on the back stacked up like mad with stuff. It does look pretty hilarious, to be fair, but it does the job. That's what I mean. It serves an all-rounder. It does everything for me. It's brilliant. My biggest achievement with the car is got to be winning an award at a show that I attend every year, my favourite car show, Viva Skeg Vegas. It's in Reesby if anyone wants to go there. Look it up online. I won an award this year, a Maguire's award, and it meant everything to me. I've never won anything at a car show, and I really didn't expect to win anything with this, and that was a huge achievement for me. I couldn't believe it. This car's special to me because I like the fact that I can go to whatever shows, and I've never seen another one at one yet. It means a lot to me because I like the fact that most people don't even know what it is. The amount of people that walk past the car and say, "Oh, it's a nice old Scirocco," and I know it's not. It's just cool to be different. I'm most proud of actually learning how to do stuff on these cars. I've got great help from friends such as my mate Jake, Michael. They are always willing to show me and have the patience of how to go on. It's just about having a go yourself. I mean, I hardly ever have to use a mechanic at all. I can't remember the last time, because they are simple cars, and it's a great achievement when you've fixed something which you didn't know you was capable of doing, and then it drives again and you know you've made that work. It's a great feeling. Future plans with other car restorations is I've got a 1979 Mark 1 Golf. Up to now I've been working on it for 7 years, it's my baby. I'm hoping for next year, well I've got to have it ready for my wedding next year. That's my main project at the minute, but after that I want to get something air-cooled. Most probably a early bay panel van or something. I've really wanted to do for a long time, go with air-cooled. I would always recommend to anyone to just go out there, buy an old car that you like the look of, doesn't matter what other people think about it, and just give it a go. You can always sell it and choose a different option if you like, but I can guarantee that you won't look back. It's something about getting something that was nearly dead and bringing it back to life and being able to use it every day, and the fact that I can turn up to work every day and that car will get me there, and there's brand new cars that have been towed away, they've got problems and electrical difficulties and stuff, and mine just keeps going and going and going. They're just brilliant, and you can work on them yourself. It's such an achievement to be able to do that. I'd recommend to anybody to try and do it, and you know, the more old cars that are saved the better, I think. Keep them going. I would like to say a big thank you to a good friend of mine, Jakey Morris, on helping me with lots of stuff on my cars and putting up with me. Also to Michael Bailey, and most of all my wife-to-be, Laura, because she has to put up with me the most. With me being obsessed with this, I am a little bit to handle, I know that, and she really mucks in and helps me, and I think she's nearly as bad as me now, she's getting there. So I'd just like to say thank you to everybody that helps out, and you know, that's what it's all about, the community.